This broadcast is inappropriate for all ages right here on hashtag WeAreMovieClub. This is Bad Movie Club. Oh, that's the credit scene that you're not supposed to see. I can do things professionally, I swear. I swear. Why is the camera like that? Stupid fucking cat. Oh, man. It's almost like I didn't do previews at all. It's almost like movies sometimes are so bad, it's shit made manifest. We say in Nurgle's name that this is a bad movie. I don't know where I was going with that. Now I get to do bad podcast on the fly. It's so great. So happy about this. But we got together to watch the Slashening this Sunday. The Slashening. So I ran out of like on-hand bad movies that I had access to. So it's like you imagine you do something and it's just not there. And I don't know what happened, but like I just couldn't figure one out. So I was like, you know what I want to do? I want to do something. I missed Mystery Science Theater for so long, and then my favorite entertainment company, Rooster Teeth, said with the grain of salt, came out with a similar thing for the movies they could afford to license. And they... what the fuck did I do? They have a thing called theater mode. So they've got about, I don't know, like 2 to 10 seasons. Not a season being a whole year, but they've got quite a bit going on with it. And they do like commentary style talkovers of different movies that they do. And typically it's horror movies, and typically they're really, really bad horror movies. The Slashening was actually one of the ones that was in better quality, and I think Jack even mentioned that offhand, that it was one of the ones that it was nice to actually see people there. Like I don't know how to describe it. If you haven't seen a bad movie, like honestly, it's really hard to describe. But like sometimes you can't even see what's happening on the screen, or you can't see the characters because they're not lit right. Because the guy had basket weaving class that day, or or he just wasn't involved, like, or he left. He just got high and left. I don't know. There are a lot of things that go into making a movie, and when you don't have the budget to do it right, sometimes it doesn't come out to be the the shining gem you thought it would be. And sometimes you get things like the Slashening, which is interesting because honestly, it has quite a bit of commentary on the horror movie genre built into it. It reminds me a lot of Scream in a lot of ways, which is kind of odd to come up with, but I mean, they were both making commentary on the movie horror tropes, though Scream was a little bit more meta about it. Like, they were almost aware they were in a bad movie. Or in a horror movie, rather. So, there we go. See, I can do things. I am semi-professional at best. Sorry. I don't know. It adds to the vibe of this. We're here to talk about a shit movie. Let's have a shit show. Let's do it. Let's do it. For starters, I do have a review posted of this for WeAreMovieClub.tumblr.com. Look up the hashtag BadMovieClub. I'm sure you'll find it if you actually go looking for it. But I'd say definitely give this a skip. It's not worth it. It doesn't have a lot of the things, despite being a commentary on it, it doesn't have a lot of the things that like you would go for to see. In fact, like let's just be honest here, a lot of these horror movies, bad horror movies, have like just nude women for no reason, or they have girls making out for no reason. Things that would draw in a young male audience. And like they specifically teased that out like a couple different times. I think one of the times the killer's even jerking off in the window to it. Um, it's ridiculous. The fun thing, one of the other fun things that happens that you don't normally see is, despite having no female nudity or even girl on girl like kissing, um, despite some of the characters' frustration, um, I think there's three different. They're fake, but there's still penis shots. Um, so it's interesting to see a movie include that when it's so not, well, underwhelming, sure, but underrated normally, like, or it's just unusual, if you will. And then it also has this, so it makes a lot of points about what it doesn't contain in it, and what it chooses to include. Again, it's very much a mockery of things. Some of the more obvious jokes are the dead pizza guys, just murdering randos over and over because nobody gives a shit. Nobody, like, everybody. It's gonna be the same dumb characters doing the same dumb things, getting killed the same dumb way. And then, of course, that those bodies pile up. They got to go somewhere. So, like, it's literally like the whole time they were having their little get together, which was a stupid joke. There's just dead bodies piling up in the backyard. They're just laid out all over the place. I don't know whether to look over the show notes or the review. So I feel like I've got the review pretty concise. It's short. It's shitty. So real quick, I'll go over the scores and then I can move on to show notes, and then maybe I can have some peace of mind. God damn it! Hey, kitty. She's pooping. She's getting ready to poop. One of the two. I can't tell. I can just see a tail. With the way the light is. So aesthetics is about 50, which is pretty good for these kinds of shitty movies. Storyline I was kind of nice to. I gave it 60. Is it actually has a passable concept, and it's written well enough, but it's just it's executed like shit on a sidewalk. It just hits the wheel of the cart and keeps on smearing down the sidewalk. Empty, vapid characters, and that was, I think, part of their commentary, but it's a self-harming commentary because you're still making a movie. You still have to make it engaging and whatnot, and a lot of the characters were just one-note jokes that they might as well not been there, and then you would have an empty movie. I would have rather watched that to a degree. Real cats. Compulsion 20, like, there's just... Like, I wasn't, like, getting up to walk out, and having Jeff and Michael and Jack there, making commentary definitely helped. Though, if you were watching that for the drinking game, man, you're gonna go dry. Like, I don't think they took a single drink the entire thing. No, I take it back. They took drinks for Dick. That's what they did. So the final score ends up being like a 35. Again, failure of a movie. To be expected with a bad movie, especially from theater mode, because some of that junk, there's occasional gem in there. I want to say Thanksgiving is actually somewhat amusing. I think there's a couple other ones. I've really got to go back through them. So I may be using this as a vehicle in which to go back and experience those. Though next week we are doing Maximum Ride, which was a shitty superhero movie thing that I ran across on Netflix, and I was like, I want to talk about this, but why the fuck would I bring it up on any other show than this one? Oh god. Oh man. Oh, the humanity. Let's see. Oh, okay, let's look at the show notes. Let's look at what we noted. Oh yeah, the whole intro, the whole prologue scene made no sense to include that at all. Rip that out, give us our time back. That doesn't make any sense to have it there. The only thing that really does, it gives us a little bit of humor about, like, I don't know. I'm not even positive. Like, they're trying to get like a 16-year-old drunk and then pressure him into a three-way, which apparently he's up for because he comes back. But by that point, like, the other two are already killed, and then he joins the stack of bodies. But it just serves as a vehicle for a joke later on in the movie, where, like, the spoilers, the two killers, the husband and wife, the asshole neighbors, start arguing with each other. Like, it turns out, like, they don't even know why they're doing it, which is, again, a commentary on, like, why we do anything. Like, do we have the same ideals? Is morality consistent? There's so much there you can unpack, and by the end of this movie, I have no fucks to give about it. I don't know why you would bother to unpack about these two killers who, again, violent psychopaths who can't even get on the same page. Like, the husband's apparently, like, repressed and horny, and he's mad about women using their bodies as sexual weapons. And his wife's cute, so, like, I don't know what he's upset about, other than, like, she just wants to get a good night's sleep. What the fuck happened here? Get a good night's sleep, so she's trying to kill everybody. She's basically doing party hard. Where did I unplug? Oh, I unplugged the controller. Okay. That's what I thought I unplugged. It's like the worst of the worst. So it's ridiculous that go there. Now, if we just did the party hard movie, like, it actually wouldn't be so bad. And that's almost what it is, but because we have that contradiction, like, it ratchets the rating of this down like a whole notch just on that one fact. It's like, we don't even have clever killers that are on the same page come up with this master plan. They're literally just running around killing people at random, at will, for different motivations. I guess the husband was jerking off to the girls, and then I honestly have no idea which one serviced the guy in the kitchen. I say service, that usually means sex. That's not what I mean. Like, they really did a number on that guy. They did like a Jesus pin to the thing. They cut his dick off, shoved it in his mouth, gouged his eye out. Like, it was the most brutal killing out of anybody in the entire movie, and he probably has one of the ones with the highest morality in general, because a lot of them just didn't give a fuck. Coke Girl didn't give a fuck. Slut Girl didn't give a fuck. I'm pretty sure Asian Girl just wanted to bang Sad Girl. Sad Girl had a basis of morality until she left the dart head guy on the floor all crushed or whatever. Nerd Girl, no, she didn't have any morality either, because she was playing the friend to try to make her feel better, so she had her friend back, and then she was, as soon as she got a chance, she was like, she was talking about getting some dick from Sad Girl's ex. And believably, like, that would be a scenario that would either play out well or no. So maybe there's a sequel that involves that, or maybe there's just some porn that acts as a sequel for this piece of shit. Oh, I take that back. There is a Slashening 2. I don't know where we would watch it, though. I wonder, can we ask? Go great and powerful Google. That's not how you spell Slashening. To watch online. Let's see if it comes up. Do. Oh hell, it may not be even out yet. We'll give one last try for IMDb, and if IMDb doesn't know, then I'm gonna move on with life. It is not that much of a thing to be excited about. Slashening 2, The Final Beginning. Oh, it's coming out in 2018. IMDb has the weirdest little adverts. The Alienist. And I recognize all three of those people, but Dakota Fanning is the only one I recognize, and she looks like an old woman. You would think with someone who looks as young as she does, they have her playing younger roles for longer. Slashing 2, Final Beginning. Oh, this isn't even related to the first one. It looks like it's someone's father commits suicide, and she goes to Brooklyn, of all places, to start over. Click. Okay, so I don't know. Like I don't even want to walk through this movie like I've been doing. Um, but it just the neighbors are over assholes. And I guess again that's commentary. That's you have rich privileged people who think that they are owed more than they should. You have the right to have more than 3 people in your house at a time, um, without being killed for it. Um, the cops showing up though. Oh my god, what a fucking scene. Oh man. Uh, Christopher Nolan's okay. He has nothing to do with the Slashening, which is what we're talking about today. Um, so that'll probably be another time, Pennywise. Um, I mean, like, if you want to relate it at all, like he created a very gritty universe that we could have benefited from in the Slashening. Uh, what a piece of trash. But like the cop, like super creepy, not feeling like there's protection going on at all there, like no reinforcements, just a very poor pumping of information from that character. Um, the I don't know what to say about that. It's just so weird, like to have like an extra killer in the movie that we didn't need. So like the scene where like the killer gets distracted and goes to the door and it's a cop, and then he's not even like being cute or clever about it. He's got like the rope ready to go, and then it just turns into, oh man, this is so funny. Like, here, take my card, cop, murderer. Oh man, it's like it's just so hard to make friends. So like they don't just commentary on like horror movie tropes and such. They commentary on like a lot of weird life stuff that like I wouldn't even normally consider like making commentary on. Like normally, if you're gonna have like the commentary of like it's hard to make friends as like middle-aged people, like you're gonna do that in like a suburban society type thing where it's someone looking to reach out, and then they have blockers with the local neighborhood, so they're trying to find that new great adventure, and it becomes like an adventure story, or it becomes a romantic comedy with some kind of mute cute, or it becomes like a couples seeking couples, and they don't meet cute it so much, but like it becomes a smaller version of the adventure, or a platonic romantic comedy, which is always a weird type of thing to do. The sorry, I just remembered. It's the most ridiculous scene. It literally like it's like if this is a pound of cocaine, like the girl's like just doing this in front of it to try to hide it from the cop. And I don't like sorry, it's one of the legit funny parts of the entire movie. Again, it's written structured very well. It's not. Oh, so there is like where the party's ramping up, and there actually has what didn't want to happen happening. But the most amazing part of that entire thing is not only that like they did the William Tell with the darts, but they also had that same guy like sit down and chill out and just play video games at somebody else's house. So I'm not even positive like there was an Xbox or anything to start with, but magically that controller appears, and he doesn't even turn it on or anything, just starts going to town. And then later he finds the headset. He's talking of like philosophy and morality arguments with people online. And I think somebody's like calling his mom a whore, and like it's like, I don't really think my mother's financial transactions are any of your business, sir. And he's trying to like have the nigger argument with somebody where like he's like, no, no, it's not a word that we can use at all. It's just putting an A at it, it doesn't make it better. Like it's really hot button type things. Like even putting that in right there felt a little weird. I think we counted. I think like half the kills were pizza guys, and there's like 10 or so. It doesn't make any sense. Some of the stuff that happens in here. Okay, so it became a discussion in theater mode about going to the garage to fuck, and they got in the car, which is a very awkward way to do that sort of thing. And you would think that there would be places somewhere else, but yeah, sure, why not? But it was a really awkward scene. I think they wanted to kill any like motivation anybody would have to get off to it, because the commentary, because it removes from the commentary. The commentary again is that like, yeah, people have unnecessary weird sex during horror movies when like they should be paying to other things, but it's the people, especially in horror movies, are subjects to their own id. Typically, it's like they're very self-centered, id and ego, if you will. They're very self-centered. They don't see past kind of what's happening to them. It's more about like what they can get out of the situation, other than like surviving, per se. And like, definitely could have done it. And it was an interesting type of way to do it, because they had the girl strangled while he was going down on her. And I've seen that kind of trope a couple other times. I've seen, it was in Mom is the one I'm thinking of anyways, where he had a heart attack going down on her because he was so excited. And then I've seen like a couple other times where guys were like killed by sex or whatever. So it is what it is, what it is. But it's a weird kind of commentary, and if it had been the normal expectation of it, like we wouldn't have thought anything about it, but because they do the role reversal, like there's something to talk about. But they add so many like weird small things in here, like a girl tries to summon Rusty Joe right before she's killed, and then they make a point about like drugs are bad because she's so fucked up, like a killer just has to keep smashing her to get her to feel anything to be dead. Brett rolling in was such a weird moment. Like, it's like we really didn't need that joke. We really didn't need that at all. Because he rolls in, like, declares love for the other girl, and then they have like a secret message behind the sad girl's back, where she's like, "Oh yeah, I'm calling you," and good for her, I guess. But and sad girl shouldn't be sad because that guy's a dick. Oh, they included a phone is dead or missing cliche. Man, I would love to see CinemaSins go to town on some of the stuff that theater mode does. Like, they would break the counter. Oh yeah, so they go out the window, the killer's waiting for them. They run out the front door, the killer's waiting for them. So we start to get a little bit of foreshadowing of like the multiple killer trope. And then again, like, dude just gets so long getting killed. And horribly played in why these bitches hide in the closet. You would think they would do something, but I guess at that point they don't know there's two killers. Oh man, but and then there's like a weird like friendship thing. Again, like everything in this movie is done to create commentary and discussion, where the the girls are talking to Darthead guy while he's on the floor pinned to the ground, and he's like, "I love you, I've always loved you," and like she does the "oh, you're so nice" type thing, and like it's really weirdly overemphasized like that too. He's like, "this guy's going out nice," so it's weird. I don't know. And the movie really takes a fucking turn, like, right there. Again, it's still doing the same commentary bullshit that it's been doing the whole movie, but it has the two heroines, I don't know, the two female leads that are left, go total ham on the killers. Like, they start taking them out pretty heavy. Like, to the point of, like, choking them to death with their own intestines, or at least the lady. And then, in the aftermath of that murderous rage, I guess the guy is, like, sends a dick pic to the nerd girl, and of course that's happening, and in the middle of all this chaos and murder and stuff, like, you don't play around with that. Like, it's a delicate enough situation. I don't know why you answer your phone, you look at it, and fuck that guy anyways, but, like, it's just, she obviously murders nerd girl, so there's no way, like, she's not going away for a very long time, regardless of the situation. So I think the idea of that commentary is supposed to be that, like, no matter what you do in these scenarios, we're all leading to an end anyways. Which is kind of a stupid commentary, but it's kind of what I can see out of it. Again, this feels like a movie that was written as a college project, and then they were like, well, we have this. Can we just make it a movie? Or they made it a movie for their college experience and tried to get the most out of it they could by taking what they made and then publishing it. And honestly, I would too. I've got video projects in that type of line that, like, if I could just do a little bit of animation, I would fucking do it. It doesn't matter how good or bad everybody thinks it is. I'd be able to say, hey, I did this. Here it is. You can go see it here. And that's one of the reasons why I do this. And while I'm on here half the week talking about movies or playing games or talking about games or myself or whatever the hell's going on at the time, because creators do what they love and they do what they do to say that they can do it. So if you made it this far, thank you for watching. Watch some other stuff, creators. I'm not saying don't be critical. By all means, be critical. Be constructive where possible. If you notice in here, I didn't just say, oh, this thing's a piece of shit. I went and talked about why I thought it was that way. And that's part of the important bit of it. It's part of what this movie's trying to say, is that we need a discussion on these things. And typically discussions like that lean towards things being better eventually. So, with that in mind, I'm going to go ahead and leave you. We did a half hour. I feel good about that. I need to start making that a hard half hour instead of a soft half hour. But we'll leave that adventure for another day. Until you see me next time, I am Camerai, and this has been #WeAreMovieClub. Bad Movie Club. You want to see anything else we're up to, go ahead and click the annotations and it'll take you to our other channels. Thanks for